Presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
This is the Leah Johnson Show.
Setting Stanishevska. Here's Duzema through the block. Scores!
The Leah Johnson Show is presented by One North Kitchen and Bar, East Lansing, the home of all of the MSU coaches shows. Now, with head coach Leah Johnson, here's the voice of Michigan State volleyball, John Krieger.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to One North Kitchen and Bar on Saginaw Highway in Lansing. The Leah Johnson Radio Show is on the air. I am John Krieger here with the coach, Leah Johnson. And in case you haven't noticed, ladies and gentlemen, Michigan State Spartan Volleyball has won 3 of its last 4 conference matches. And, oh, by the way, Michigan State beat Michigan. I've been around Michigan State for about 25 years now, and I never tire of hearing the phrase Michigan State beat Michigan. And by the way, knocked off the Iowa Hawkeyes as well for a 2-0 conference week. And Nalani Yosia, a 3-time this season Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week honoree. Right now, it's a really good time to be a Spartan volleyball fan. Coach, welcome in.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a good run here.
So let's dive right back in. What a great weekend for this team last weekend. And certainly, and I said 3 of the last 4, really it's 3 in a row with the win against Rutgers, the win against Michigan, and then a win against Iowa. You've got to be thrilled with the way you've continued to challenge your team, and this team continues to answer those challenges.
Yeah, I think team culture makes a difference. And, we spend a lot of time talking about being a solution-based program, whether it be in the match, on the sideline, in practice. And, if you're constantly searching for solutions and answers, eventually you're going to find one that sticks and works. And I think you saw us turn that corner with some of that solution-finding effort.
I want to take you back to the Michigan match last Friday, because I've only seen this happen 2 or 3 times in my 20 years behind the Spartan volleyball microphone. There was a moment in the middle of set 2 where your team had dropped set 1 to Michigan, but were competitive. In the middle of set 2, Michigan started to commit a couple of errors. And all of a sudden you get that look in a team's eyes where they've been given a window and they know they've got it. And from that point on, the folks on the Michigan bench look like deer in headlights. And I think the only other time I've ever seen that was when Michigan State went into Minnesota and knocked off Hugh McCutcheon, who was then ranked number 1 in 2017, of completely turning it up a gear and seeing an opponent of that stature have no answer. It had to be wonderful for you to see your team kick it up a notch and take control of that match and really dominate the rest of the way.
Yeah, I obviously can't speak to what was happening on their bench because I wasn't paying attention to that. But
yeah, that was just me enjoying that.
But on the court, I could see the understanding of the game plan taking place, and to where they were starting to see their prep and execution, manifest. And so they trusted that. And I saw us taking swings that we'd repped out the day before, setting up block alignments, defensive drops, the way we had practiced and rehearsed. And as it started to come together and we started executing on that, that was a huge turning point for us. And it forced them into errors. We put them in really tough situations. That was probably the lowest passing quality match they've had all year. I thought we just served lights out against them and really stressed them.
We're going to highlight a lot of players' outstanding achievements over the next hour, but I want to spotlight, to begin, our player guest this afternoon, Karolina Stanishevska, who has been asked by you to step into back row passing situations with increasing frequency here in the second half of the season. And she has answered the challenge and then some. Continues to hits the pipe well, passes well. Really solid for you in those passing situations. Really good run of form for Carol.
Yeah, and excuse me, and I think the thing that's impressive about Carol is she stays ready. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long season, and she's been continuing to train hard and prepare herself for that moment to where she can get the full green light. And, at Iowa, she went 6 rotations, had 4 kills on 10 swings, not a single error, passed 2-person for us the entire match. And I believe, mirrors Nani and her defensive capabilities. So there's very few people that I can put in that category.
By the way, today's show brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. Want to join our live audience for the MSU Coaches Shows? We know you do. Make your reservation by emailing Caleb at onenorthdining.com. And then comes Iowa. You win against Michigan. It's an arch rival win. There is a possibility that you get high for that and have a letdown against the team you should beat in Iowa City. No such letdown and a quality performance all around, a Big Ten road sweep. That's a nice consolidation of what you saw for the week.
Yeah, I was proud to see in that tight set in set 1, I felt like we stayed loose all the way through and we didn't get it tied up until we were at 20. And sometimes that's the separator. If you go in and you hit 20 mark and you're ahead, you have an advantage. And I thought, that's where we tied it and we got better. And then the next 2 sets, we held them below 15 for 2 sets in a row. And so we executed a very high clip.
Kind of the last thing I want to focus on in this first chat that we're having, you said to me, and we've had chats during the first half of the Big Ten conference season, that it was important for all of us fans, everybody alike, to realize just how hard the first half of the Big Ten conference season was. And you knew once you got to the second half of the Big Ten conference season, that people were going to see what this team is continuing to do and continuing to build. That prophecy is proving very true. We're seeing Michigan State really rise into the ascendancy as you're closing out 2024.
Yeah, I think that second half is just a different group of matchups for us. We didn't see anyone, I think, under top 30 RPI in the first 10 matches of the season, which is a pretty tough one. Every other match was against a top 25 ranked team in the first 10 matches. And so now we're in a situation where you can see our efforts and our team, starting to gel. Like you guys know, we moved Akasha Anderson to the right side. She started the year on the left. So we've had to have time for that transition to happen. Obviously, Carolina coming into that lineup, and now we're seeing the second half of conference where our matchups are a bit different. And, I'm really proud of our performances.
When we come back, we will turn the page a little bit more on what this year's Spartans are doing in just a little while. But when we come back, it's a special time of the year. November is when we announce new Spartans for Michigan State Spartan Volleyball and a great recruiting class that we'll talk about when we return to One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. This is the Leah Johnson Show, and you are on the Spartan Media Network.
Hey Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
We sit, excited, on the bus, the sidelines, courtside, in dugouts, waiting for our shot, driven by greatness. For over 60 years, Dean has delivered athletes safely to their battlegrounds, not as a spectator, but as a teammate. Much more than a job, a true calling with all the purpose and performance that champions possess. Join our team today and experience what it means to be driven by greatness. Go green, go white, go Dean. DeanJobs.com.
Hey, got one more, Labatt?
Yeah, here you go.
Yo, got one more?
Sure, who are you?
Hey, have any more?
I'll take one.
Got another Labatt.
Got one more? How did you all get in my house?
Dude, door was open. Heard you had some Labatt.
Yeah, in the fridge.
Crack some Labatt, make some friends, and see where it takes you.
Always enjoy responsibly. Here, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company Limited.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Welcome back to One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. This is the Leah Johnson Show. I'm John Krieger, here with the coach, Leah Johnson. Well, we talked about the current Spartans and the great run of form that they are on as we finish strong here in 2024 and get ready for 2025. And that's why last week it was so special to see the signings that were announced that will come in to be a part of the incoming class of 2025. And Coach, I know you're absolutely thrilled, and we'll get to each recruit in just a second, but I know you're absolutely thrilled with the caliber of athletes that you and your staff have been able to sign the name on the dotted line and come in and really build on what we're doing here in East Lansing.
Yeah, I am very excited about this class, and it's a true start to finish recruiting class for us since arriving. This is the truly first one, and I think we've got a lot of talent who's leading within their position nationwide and internationally.
I think you mentioned start to finish recruiting class. I think it's important for our fans to understand the shift that has happened in Michigan State volleyball over the last 4 years, because everybody thinks about a rebuild in terms of a coach comes in and you're 1, 2, 3 seasons, and where do you start to look at evaluating that? The true point of the matter is you have to go in and get recruits around the country to buy into what you've established as culture. So you've done a good job of establishing the culture here at Michigan State, but we're now seeing on the recruiting trail Michigan State in more and more conversations as people take notice of what you and your staff are starting to do here in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, and I think, one of our goals is to make sure that we're in every conversation in a recruiting realm, whether it be with the top recruits or on their first phone call list, which has happened pretty regularly. And they may not say yes first, but they may say yes the second time around, as we know that's part of recruiting now. And it just takes one, right? But we've been able to find some athletes that we feel rival those ranked recruits in different ways and are ranked in their own rights.
The interesting thing, and as we talk about these recruits that Spartan fans should start getting used to, is these are recruits that are coming in knowing how to win. Our first recruit that we are talking about is a 3-time state champion. You want to talk about players that will have it for you when you're trying to get an NCAA tournament berth, players that have been there deep in tournament runs. I'm talking, of course, about our first recruit, Olivia Durst, who comes out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, Milwaukee Sting Volleyball Club. A libero comes in for you, a 3-time Wisconsin state champion at Divine Savior Holy Angels, 2-time All-State honoree so far, 2-time All-State tournament selection. You got big shoes to fill with a 3-time Defensive Player of the Week graduating. This is a big step to starting to fill those gaps.
Yeah, Olivia is, she actually just transitioned to the libero position last year. So we got to look at her early when she was a 6 rotation outside hitter, and people had not identified her as a libero yet. So I feel like we kind of got a head start on what we projected for her to be a lead at, which is her defense and passing. So then she moved to that role full time, and everyone started taking notice. And by that point, she'd already committed to be a Spartan. So I think we were ahead of the game with her, and she is long like Nalani. She's quick, elite feet. She was a soccer star. I think she's made it to state in soccer as well through her whole career. So you're going to see a really special athlete.
You need another setter with, say, 2 setters getting ready to graduate. And this one comes out of New Zealand, our second Kiwi on the roster, and that is Kalia Norton, who comes in out of Auckland, New Zealand. And this is a player who has vast experience playing against elite competition. You can't really go into the high school system and the way we would with an American athlete. It's just a different sporting system down there. But the truth is, she's been playing elite level volleyball since a very young age.
Yeah, and I think, she plays everything. Sometimes she hits. She's got a really lethal topspin serve, as you see a lot of international athletes do. She's very fast. And Kalia is a great jumper. So if you guys think about a Leah Moore, and for her being undersized, but what an elite jumper she is, picture that somewhat in a setter. So you're going to see a really fast mover with quick hands and strong at the net. So I think Kalia is going to give us an opportunity to compete in a 5-1, but she'll obviously have to adapt to the speed of the U.S. game.
Anytime you can ink a player that holds an all-time state record in any category, that's a pretty good feather to have in the cap. Yep. And that is the case with Leela Ormsby, who comes in as a middle blocker out of Billings, Montana, and Big Sky Volleyball Club, the all-time block slater in high school volleyball in the state of Montana. Huge at the net, big arms, had a chance to watch a little film, really quick lateral movement that'll set up forming that double block with your pins really, really well. Talk about the new gun in the middle.
Leela is a unique student athlete in that she, comes from a small town, but has been recruited to play at the club level through some of the top clubs in California. And so she's got a different experience, but an elite blocker. She's got a nose for the game. She also is a true scholar athlete. She's right now in the running to be valedictorian of her class, will join our honors college when she arrives, and, a nearly perfect test scoring type of student athlete. So I'm sure she'll correct me on all my wrong stats during practice, as they like to do.
You know what? Sometimes when you get one over on
I'm
coach,
good with it.
It's fine as long as you're
Just
right.
get it right. Yep.
As long as you're right. And our final Spartan, another international player that's coming in, but not so international, we'll tell you why, is an outside hitter out of the Czech Republic. We're talking about Caroline Formankova. And you might say, outstanding, another international arm, brings that different flavor of volleyball, except East Lansing is a little closer to home than you might think. Tell us why.
Yeah, so Caroline is actually a dual citizen. Her mom grew up in East Lansing and played basketball in South Carolina, I believe, where she met her husband. And then they moved back to Prague, Czech Republic, where he is from. So she's born and raised there, but her aunts, uncles, grandparents live here in this community. So coming home, we brought her in for a visit. This was her home away from home, truly. So she's excited to join. She's a 6'3" athlete, huge arm, 6 rotations, attacks out the back row, and plays like a grown woman. I don't know how to say it any better than that, but she has been playing with their senior national team, one of the youngest people to be called up for the Czech Republic to represent them on their senior national team. She plays both right side and left side.
Well, that kind of versatility. And by the way, you need to play like a grown woman if you're going to win in the Big Ten Conference. As we take a look at the pins that are out there in Big Ten Conference volleyball, I want to finish this segment by talking about family and about the relationship you have with these recruits. I'm going to read for our audience Leela's quote. I chose MSU because of the immediate connection I felt to the entire coaching staff. I'm beyond excited for the program being built with them. I can't wait to be a part of it. I believe in this program, and I feel blessed because they believe in me. The campus already feels like home. That is a theme through all 4 of the recruits that put their name on the line. And in the portal age of volleyball, to see young recruits feeling like this place is already a family, something that believes in them, something that wants them to grow, that's got to be a positive for you and the staff, because it allows you to really build on a foundation and build something here over a number of years.
And I think there's trust there too, that they foresee a future, right? It's not just, I'm going to show up and give to you, you're going to give back to me, and vice versa, right? So they come in and, family and home is all about the people you're with. Like, you could pick East Lansing up and put it anywhere, right? Not that we would leave our great state, but it's the people who make it. And I think that's what they feel. And then they grow to love and just have this endearment for the community.
And that is important as Michigan State looks to grow and looks to improve as a team over the coming years. An exciting class of 2025 here for the green and white. Frankly, you'll want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on Spartan Media Network radio stations, presented by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find your local independent agent at FMINS.com. When we return to the Leah Johnson Show here And from One North Kitchen and Bar, it's time for our Players Spotlight. We told you you'd hear from her at the start of the show. We're talking about one of Michigan State's 2 Polish athletes on the roster and someone who has stepped into form over the last couple of weeks, anchoring down the Spartan back row from a hitting perspective. I'm talking about Karolina Staniszewska. She'll join Coach Johnson when we come back with more of Spartan Volleyball right after this. You're listening to the Coach Leah Johnson Show.
The U.S. is experiencing the worst blood shortage we've seen in 20 years. Give blood this season, and you can help save up to 3 lives each time. Join me and Abbott so we can save more lives together. Let's make Spartan Nation the #1 blood donor in the Big Ten.
From help. Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Are proudly. The U.S. is experiencing the worst blood shortage we've seen in 20 years. Give blood this season, and you can help save up to 3 lives each time. Join me and Abbott so we can save more lives together. Let's make Spartan Nation the #1 blood donor in the Big Ten.
From the biggest of big games
No. So loud.
to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go. Run, James. No. First base. Go.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles. Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader.
Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care.
Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing for more of the Leah Johnson Radio Show. I'm John Krieger here with the Coach Leah Johnson. Time for my favorite 2 segments of these shows because I get to sit back and watch Coach do my job. It's always fun, but it gives us a chance to meet some people that are integral to the success of Michigan State Spartan Volleyball. The first is our Players Spotlight, and this month's Players Spotlight comes out of Warsaw, Poland, and is a player that has filled a number of roles for Michigan State, has been a starting left side up front for you at times. This season, her role has changed. And the thing I can always say about Karolina Staniszewska is that no matter what the question is and no matter what the ask is, her answer is always yes. And you cannot ask for more from an athlete than someone who is willing to fill the role that you need them to fill it well, and serve her teammates in this university. And I think that is Karolina to a T. She's been outstanding stepping in a passing role in the back row this season. She is our coaches and players spotlight this month on the Leah Johnson Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Karolina Staniszewska. Coach, take it away.
Thank you. Okay, this is fun because I get to put them in the hot seat, but yet they feel like they're in the hot seat all the time because I'm a big question asker.
Yeah, I agree.
But one thing I'd like to start with, Karolina, is let's talk about what you're studying right now.
Oh, I study economics in School of Science, so it's a bit hard, but I keep pushing myself, and I think I'm doing a good job connecting volleyball and my studies here.
Yeah, she's been a terrific student and excelling in her classes. Recently, you had a class where you interviewed me.
Oh, yeah. That was actually for my writing class, which is requirement in this university. So I thought I want to interview you, Coach, because I look up to you every single day. And it was, no, I'm not. And it's great to get to know what your job actually is outside of coaching us every single day, what you do after we come back home, rest, like what your job looks like.
Yeah, Carolina came up to me after practice one day and goes, I have to interview someone in leadership or something like that. I forget what she's like, but it's due in 2 days. Can I interview you? And I was like, Carolina, you see me every day. But we had a blast doing it and just sharing stories with one another, even though she deleted all my answers.
By accident. That's a technology fault.
Okay, so you've recently stepped into a starting role, and it's been, up and down this season. You had a starting role early in the year, and after that match, I remember talking to you at Eastern Michigan, and I'd love for you to share a little bit about that match and our conversation afterwards.
Yeah, I played during that game. I didn't well, but I still was there for the team. And I said to coach that I'm going to keep working and keep fighting for that spot. So I think the chance that I was given for the past 2 games was like the thing that I was waiting for. And I was ready to step into the role.
Yeah, so when she got the start, it wasn't, like you said, a highlight performance of hers. And we knew she was getting ready. But after the match, she looked at me and was like, thanks for the opportunity. And exactly what she said, I'm going to keep working. And if you think about coaches and how you make changes, what do you assume someone's response is when they get removed from a position? They're angry, they're frustrated, they're mad. Carolina was grateful and expressed that right in the immediate after the moment, and then expressed what she's going to do about it moving forward. And I think since then we've seen her climb. And though the lineup has shifted, she was ready for this moment. So Caroline, I think you've done a tremendous job with that.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, coach said I'm changing roles every single day. So I have to keep being ready for that role. So I was grateful for me putting the work that I was given to during those games with Iowa and Michigan. Yeah. So I'm also grateful for that, and I'm going to keep getting better.
Absolutely. There's no question. So you had a unique experience this summer, Carolina. You were playing overseas. So most of the time our team reports back in the summer in June. And Carolina and I came to an agreement where she was going to stay and play with her U22 national team, which is a really unique invitation to receive. And you had the chance to play against future Spartan, Caroline, who we just spoke about from the Czech Republic. So share a little bit about your summer and running into her.
Yeah, I was preparing with my national team for 2 years, basically for 4 years before, but especially during that time preparing for U22, we spent 2 months before August to play with each other and be ready to play in European Championship. And I met Caroline over there, so I was excited to meet her. And we actually played with each other, and I wanted to win that game so bad. I won't lie. But yeah, it was a great experience to meet future Spartan, and thinking about that she's coming here, I'm excited for her.
Yeah, and Caroline felt the same, to have the opportunity to meet you, be welcomed by you, and to see each other. Basically, you were both on foreign soil at that moment, competing, and had a great matchup. We got to watch that on TV or online, I guess, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember sending a message to Jake that I blocked her like 2 times. I was so proud of myself, but she was also playing really good, so I'm excited what she can do here.
Yeah. So what has, in these last 2 years, culturally, what's been different playing sport in the U.S. compared to playing sport back home in Poland?
I would say culture. Here's culture is playing like a big role, and how environment looks like. Like during the games, there's like a lot of fans that are supporting us, and that's really great. I really appreciate that. And also the rules of volleyball are a little different, but I think right now I adjusted so well, so I don't see the
What's
difference.
An example? What's an example of a different rule?
Libero serving, or like having 15 subs. That's a lot.
Yeah. So internationally, what do they have? 6 subs?
Yeah. Actually 5, but you have like 1 additional just in case. So
they have 5 subs. We have 15 subs. So you rarely will ever see a 6-2 in the international game. And if you do, you'll see it subbed once, and that's it per set. And in the international game, the libero cannot serve either. So you see both middle serve internationally.
Yeah.
So been very different.
They have to play defense too.
Yeah. Well, they pretend to. No, Zuzana had a big kill the other day.
Yeah, Zuzana got like 3 days.
Yeah.
In one rally. I was like, yeah, Zuzana, good job.
So tell us about your relationship with Zuzana, because you guys were on the same club.
Yeah, so I think we got closer for the past 2 years being over here. And I think we make each other feel so much better here, like home. But at the same time, we get that feeling from other players, which is also great. But it's good to have her here.
Yeah. They did not know we were recruiting one another. So we recruited them separately. And then when we told them, they were both in shock that they knew the other had committed, because everything's pretty confidential when you recruit internationally.
Yeah, I remember Zuza coming to my room and saying that she's talking to my future coaches. I didn't know what to say at first, but I was surprised. But after we figured things out, I was feeling great and had a great feeling that we're going to do good things over here together.
Yeah, and you have. So last thing, I think I'm being given the time's up, Leah. What would you say has been the most impactful thing making the choice to play in the States and at Michigan State for you?
I think I set myself usually goals that I want to achieve. So one of my dreams was to come here and play volleyball. And I think Michigan State was a great school and great choice for me. So I think chasing my dream was the biggest thing for me.
That's awesome. Well, we're proud of you. And we're proud to call you a Spartan. So thank you.
Thank you. Go green.
Go white.
The pride of Warsaw, Poland, and number 2 for your Michigan State Spartans. Our player spotlight this month, Karolina Staniszewska. The Coach Leah Johnson Show is brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. At One North Kitchen and Bar, our menu is carefully crafted in a scratch kitchen to cater to all tastes. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows at our Lansing location and visit onenorthdining.com. Do you bleed green? I know I do. As part of global healthcare leader Abbott and the Big Ten's The We Give Blood Drive competition, you can help make MSU the Big Ten champion of blood donation, and you can save lives in the process. To learn more, visit big10.org/Abbott or a local blood donation center. When we come back, it's time for our staff spotlight, and we dive into the world of volleyball tech and how it's changing the way the game is played with Shane Decker-Jacoby. That's on tap when we come back to One North Kitchen and Bar for more of the Leah Johnson Show. This is the Spartan Media Network.
Farm Bureau Insurance invites you inside the green for an exclusive dinner with football coach Jonathan Smith. This unique experience includes a private dinner for one winner and 3 guests with Coach Smith. The winner also receives a private tour of Spartan Stadium, an autographed football from Coach, tickets to a future home game, and more. For more details and to register, visit InsideTheGreenSweeps.com. Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of Michigan State Athletics.
Is joint pain slowing you down? Imagine waking up and moving through your day pain-free. The orthopedic and sports medicine specialists at McLaren are experts in the latest surgical and non-surgical advances to relieve joint pain and restore movement so you can rediscover the activities you love. We'll help you get back to what moves you. McLaren, the official orthopedic sports medicine partner of Michigan State Athletics.
Carol, Mom says grandma.
Stay in the game with Q-Collar, the world's first and only equipment proven to help protect the brain. It's backed by advanced research, built for the modern athlete, and designed to protect your most important asset, your brain. Q-Collar is a proud partner of the Michigan State Spartans. When it's on, it's on. Learn more and collar up at Q30.com.
Got it.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go! Run, James! No, first base! Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Welcome back to the Leah Johnson Show from One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. Now, normally we're talking to Lansing, Michigan, Spartan fans around the country. Today, we go international, and when that's the case, we take time for a special message. Karolina, here's someone you want to say hi to.
Cześć babciu, dziadku. Chciałam powiedzieć, że bardzo was kocham. Mamo, tato was też i dzięki, że oglądacie. Thank you.
Oh, go green. Hi, Grandma, Grandpa.
That's a hello message over to Poland, where we know that Carolina's parents and grandma and grandpa are watching the Leah Johnson show today on our video channels. And thank you so much for sharing this outstanding woman with us. Speaking of outstanding women, our staff spotlight this week delves into the world of volleyball tech. When I first started bringing Spartan fans Spartan volleyball games, there was no such thing as a technical coordinator. We didn't have data volley. There wasn't any of those things. Now the game has changed, and like so much in sports, analytics has become so much of game planning and motion sensing and player health and wellness based. All of it goes down to the numbers on a computer screen at times. And the woman who is interpreting those numbers and the driving force behind the analytics that make Michigan State a winner is the technical and coordinator and performance analyst for Michigan State Spartan volleyball. That is California's own Shay Decker Jacoby, who has come in and been an integral part of Leah Johnson's staff. She is our staff spotlight this week. Coach, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. So welcome, Shay.
Hi.
Glad you're here. Just so you guys know, Shay and Shane had to rock, paper, scissors to see who would be on the show today. And Shay lost. So here she is as my winner. Okay. First of all, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And second, can you tell us what any of that means, please?
Yeah. So if anyone has seen the movie Moneyball or read the book, that's essentially what it is. Using numbers and analytics to try to put our team in the best scenario to win, whether that be particular matchups or putting our players in the best position for them to score most frequently. So that's what I do. I kind of look at the game at from 10 different vantage points from 5 different angles and try to find the best one to give our team 1 or 2 extra points a set to try to get that win.
Yeah. And Shay, you have progressed so much over the 3 years, because this is a relatively new position across the country, and a new position for you not long out of college. So you were a college athlete. Tell us a little bit about your college career briefly.
Yeah, I played 4 years at Brandeis University, a Division III school out in Boston. Really loved my experience. I was 4 years starting outside hitter, played 6 rotations, was asked to do a lot of different things. And I was part of the first recruiting class of a new coach. So I, as a player, was a part of building a program and building a legacy. So when I got the call from Leah Johnson, when she got the head coaching job here, I knew what that experience was like as a player, and I was excited to do it as a staff member.
Yeah, and you've done a great job. So year 1, neither of us had done this job together. Yes. I had never had a tech coordinator, though I had tech in a different role. So we were learning together. Can you share a little bit about what year 1 looked like compared to what year 3 has been?
Oh God. Year 1 was a lot of learning, a lot of figuring it out, a lot of you asking me if things were possible and me just saying, yep, not really sure, but gonna try it anyway. And that's kind of what year 1 looked like, just really figuring it out, and kind of problem solving as you went and learning a lot. Year 2 was also a lot of problem solving, but really honing in what I was starting to get really good at, and really honing in the tool that I use on my computer during matches, called Volley Station, and really trying to maximize that. And year 3 has really been using that tool to the maximum capacity to try to edge out 2 or 3 points a set.
So in practice, you see Shay in a match, right? You see her sitting on the bench with a computer on her lap. And in that moment, she is coding and basically inputting through a code every single touch made in the game by both teams. Every single touch. So you've got to have a volleyball mind, and then you have to be able to translate it to a code language. And then the part that I think is the most impactful is how you translate it once the data comes out. And so in match, Shay is responsible for giving us feedback about nuanced data. So maybe it's a matchup or something like a rotational shift that we need to explore. A lot of times we'll say, okay, who's passing well, or should we go off this passer for a while and try someone else? Who's trending down? Maybe they haven't bottomed out, but they're trending down. And so we need to spin the dial and change something there. So Shay is responsible for interpreting that in real time and giving us the data to support those ideas. And I would say in year one, it was more tag, tag, tag without that feedback. And now she's able to see it and tell a story with it. So in practice, Shay, what is your relationship with the team based on your role and what they need from you?
Yeah, it's a lot of questions. Usually it's either, we have, we call it the fun board, and it projects their stats. So essentially a box score in real time of their numbers. So as we're competing, they get to see what their hitting efficiency, passing numbers, and a whole other different types of metrics as we go through 6v6. So usually it's questions about, why is my first ball efficiency higher than my trans, or something about their passing numbers, or something nuanced. And it usually starts from a really broad question, and then as we dwindle down, I usually get to the root of what they're really asking about, and then we get to have a really honest conversation about their training process. So when they go to their position coaches, they can ask for something really specific that they want in their extra reps or in their training, and they get to be really pointed and have a lot of autonomy and ownership over their training process and growth. And they get to have power in that knowledge of where they are and that roadmap of how to get better.
And I think that's a testament to the trust they have in Shay. Let me just share one anecdote, if I can, this year, because I mentioned earlier we moved Akasha Anderson to the right side from the left side, and her numbers have more than doubled. She's averaging twice as many kills. Her hitting percentage is twice as good. She's an impactful blocker for us. She is truly a dominant player. She is putting up All-American numbers. Early in season, she was on the left, and I would make her hit on the right for one rotation, and she'd go over to Shay, and she's like, I don't even know why I'm over here. I can't get set. And Shay would show her her data. And I forget now, but like at the time, it was like, you're hitting 300 over there.
Yeah.
You're hitting 150 on the left. So eventually, as that data continued to accumulate, Shay was able to share the story as to why this was the best role for her and how she could help the team. Because she said, my role is to score the most points. And Shay was able to show her, well, you're not doing that on the left, but the data is telling us you're doing that on the right. Are you ready to take that risk? And next thing you know, we beat USC after we make that change, and her numbers continue to climb, and she gets more and more comfortable, and her impact has been tremendous. And a lot of that is because of those side conversations in practice that Shay is able to have about the data behind the decisions. So.
And a huge testament to the players, to leaning into that and trusting the numbers and letting them tell the story and direct them in the process. So a huge credit to them and using it as a tool and not shying away from it, even if it isn't telling them exactly what they want in that moment.
Yeah. So I appreciate you and all you've done. One little side note, shout out for her too. This summer, she built a new app to help us in the off season that we're going to implement this spring for the players to see their trend lines versus just a single day of data. They're going to see how they're doing over time to track their progress and to build their training around that. So we're giving them as much power as we can to let them control their training, and that we just give them the avenue to do it. So great job. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Our staff spotlight for the week, or for the month, on the Leah Johnson Show. Shay Decker-Jacoby. By the way, if you miss any of the MSU coaches shows, you want to go back and hear or watch one again, look up Spark Media Network anywhere you get your podcasts. And whenever you shop Meijer, you help support food rescue programs and the Simply Give program. You help provide a bright future for kids, and you support sustainability in our communities. Learn more at Meijer.com. Back with trivia here at One North Kitchen and Bar and more of the Leah Johnson Show. This is the Spartan Media Network.
You just slept on it funny. I think it's supposed to be that color. It's probably just something you ate.
Yep.
That'll clear right up with some aloe. Some chicken soup will have you back on your feet in no time. Not sure. But Mom will probably know.
All right, here
Don't
at One
rely
North
on
Kitchen and
guesswork.
Bar, it is
For
trivia
85
time.
years, Blue Cross has been
So we've
providing
got a trivia
Michiganders with
question coming
access
out
to
of
the
this
care and resources
commercial.
they need, and
Chance for
will
you
be
to win
ready to
some
help
Spartan
for the next
volleyball
85
tickets.
years.
If you know the answer, step up to the mic here.
Hey, Spartan
Get you
fans,
ready
this
for
is
this
Otis
weekend's
Wiley, General
volleyball
Manager of Michigan State Sports Properties. Are you interested in becoming a corporate partner of Michigan State Athletics, supporting Michigan State student athletes through NIL? If so, please contact us by visiting msuspartans.com and locating MSU Sports Properties underneath the Fan tab.
Touchdown, MSU!
Elevate your brand's marketing and advertising efforts by partnering with Michigan State Athletics. Again, please visit us at msuspartans.com and locating MSU Sports Properties underneath the Fan tab.
He got it!
Enhance your brand's marketing and advertising efforts by partnering with Michigan State Athletics. We look forward to hearing from you and having you join the Michigan State Athletics corporate partner family. Go green and go white.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles.
Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader.
Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care.
Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. This is the Leah Johnson Show on the Spartan Media Network. It is time for our Alumni Hall Spartan Volleyball Trivia for our audience here at One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Spartan shopping destination. Our trivia winner will win 2 tickets to the upcoming Spartan volleyball action. Can pick up the tickets at Alumni Hall in Eastwood Town Center. Here is this week's trivia question. On Michigan State's current 3-match win streak, what 3 teams did they beat? So Michigan State has won 3 straight volleyball matches. What are the 3 teams that they beat? If you know the answer, step up to the mic here. We will give you some Spartan volleyball tickets. I think we see someone that wants to have a go and give an answer. No, not yet. You're thinking about it. Oh, come on up to the mic. This is live radio. We have to have you give the answer over the air. I know. Thank you so much.
I suppose we can repeat it.
Yes, but then she wouldn't be a radio star. All right, what's your name?
Tess.
Hi, Tess. What 3 teams did Michigan State Spartan Volleyball beat?
Michigan, Rutgers, Iowa.
That is absolutely correct. You have won 2 tickets
Good job,
to
Tess.
the upcoming Spartan Volleyball action, and you've got your certificate for the tickets. We appreciate you taking part in our Alumni Hall Trivia giveaway today, and we will be back with more Spartan Volleyball from One North Kitchen and Bar after this. You're listening to the Coach Leah Johnson Show.
Every kid deserves a chance to feel safe, to have their own bed, to be loved and cared for. That's why I love my foster parents. They make me feel like part of the family.
Raise hope and foster dreams for one of 13,000 Michigan children in foster care. Visit michigan.gov/hope for a home or call 855-MICH-KIDS. That's 855-MICH-KIDS. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Hey Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Rocket met with first-time home buyers to get real about buying a home.
When you don't understand the process, you don't know what steps to take. Money is just scary to begin with.
There's so many question marks.
I wish there was like a home ownership coach out there.
My name's Austin. I'm an executive at Rocket. We're doing a lot, but we can do more just listening to you today.
Get real solutions to real concerns. Call 800-4ROCKET.
Rocket Mortgage LLC, NMLS number 33, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states.
Michigan, it's time to take them back. I'm Jerry Hodak, and I've lived here nearly all my life. For decades, we led the nation in bottle and can returns, cutting litter in half and preserving our natural resources. But some people have stopped returning their bottles and cans to the grocery stores, throwing away $105 million of their money. Keep Michigan green and put your money back in your pockets. Take them back, Michigan. The dime is worth your time.
One North Kitchen and Bar offers outdoor seating, curbside pickup, and don't forget all the MSU coaches shows. Make your reservation by emailing Caleb at onenorthdining.com. Welcome back to the Leah Johnson Show. I'm John Krieger here with the coach, Leah Johnson, and we'll coach 3 Spartan home matches in a row over the next 7 days. And after the last one against the Northwestern Wildcats, you say goodbye to an outstanding senior class. It is never easy for a class of individuals to come in and be the class that lays the foundation for a rebuild. Yeah. That's what this class has done, and we're saying goodbye to some outstanding Spartans, including your co-captains, Nalani Yosia and Julia Bishop. Your thoughts on the senior class of 2024?
What a unique class. You know, I think we have 8 if I'm remembering correctly, seniors who we will celebrate. And I know that sounds like a lot because it is, but it was also a lot of impact. You know, we arrived, we had 6 players in the gym. We had to recruit nearly an entire team just to put a roster on the court in year 1. And the majority of them weren't in our gym until August 1. So what they were willing to sign up for, to grind through, to establish, and to see through has been tremendous. And all the while, you know, I talk about culture. Well, that's that class. They're the ones who bought into the values of serve, grow, and honor and celebrating one another. And then you have Julia and Nalani as captains for the last 3 years, leading and grinding us through all the hard as we continue to build. They're also instrumental in our recruiting. You know, they tell the story of why they said yes before they knew anything and why they would say yes again. And so that's helping bring in these talented recruiting classes year after year moving ahead.
3 matches left to see the 2024 Spartans tomorrow, Saturday, and next Wednesday. Tickets available at msuspartans.com with a lot of different promotions for you to be able to enjoy Spartan volleyball at a good price, too. We'll be back with our final segment of the Leah Johnson Show for 2024 when we return to One North Kitchen and Bar after this. This is the Leah Johnson Show, and you're listening to the Spartan Media Network.
Farm Bureau Insurance invites you inside the green for an exclusive dinner with football coach Jonathan Smith. This unique experience includes a private dinner for 1 winner and 3 guests with Coach Smith. The winner also receives a private tour of Spartan Stadium, an autographed football from Coach, tickets to a future home game, and more. For more details and to register, visit InsideTheGreenSweeps.com. Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of Michigan State Athletics.
Hey Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Skill is a game changer. And when the doctors you know and trust team up with one of the nation's top health systems, the possibilities are endless. Sparrow is now University of Michigan Health Sparrow. So together, we can bring more specialized expertise, more of the latest treatments, and more of the best possible care closer to you. Discover what's possible at uofmhealthsparrow.org.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for the players every game at the Breslin Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and 4-store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, official hardwood floor care provider of the Michigan State Spartans.
Welcome back to One North Kitchen and Bar here on the Leah Johnson Show, the final Leah Johnson Show of 2024. Just a couple of minutes left. Coach, busy week for Spartan volleyball this week. 2 outstanding opponents coming in Oregon and Maryland. Just the 3rd meeting all time with the Ducks, and then a little revenge on your mind against the Terrapins Thursday and Saturday. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Saturday noon. Your thoughts on this week?
Yeah, a good matchup. Oregon's coming in the top 10, I believe. And after a tough loss in 5 at USC, I think that gives us a lot of confidence knowing we took that win at USC on the road, and we see some parallels there. They play a different kind of style of volleyball. You're going to see a lot more back row attack from different places on the back row and more risky style of offensive play. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. Please bring someone. Thursdays, our fan attendance is sometimes spotty because it's middle of the week. So if you know someone, bring someone. We'd love to have a good crowd there for that matchup. And then we're looking for a split against Maryland. We need to get this one back. We were disappointed with our performance on the road, and we owe it to you and to ourselves to show up for this match on Saturday. I'm excited for that too.
Well, that about does it for us for the Leah Johnson Show for 2024. Coach, it's been a pleasure. We had some questions, didn't have a chance to get to it as we were talking about the new.
I'll answer them at the end.
Week. We'll get to them, and we will also answer them on some of our social media channels. But Coach, thank you for being with us for all of 2024. I know you were really looking forward to these shows, and they've been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and thank you to One North, Kathy, Scott, Caleb, the whole crew here for putting on such an event, and the radio here for hosting us. You guys have been tremendous. Thank you.
Well, it's been our honor. And
for being my sidekick. Thank you, John.
It has been an honor, and I will continue to be your sidekick tomorrow at 5:50 p.m. Tune in for Spartan volleyball coverage against the Oregon Ducks. First serve just after 6. That does it for us for the Leah Johnson Show. Thanks to our show producer, Chris Ordaway, and back in the studio, Noah Kelly. Thanks to everyone who came out to One North Kitchen and Bar. Stay tuned for Spartan volleyball for the rest of the year. I'm John Krieger. Thanks for being with us. Go State. And from One North Kitchen and Bar here in Lansing, so long, everybody. We'll see you on the Leah Johnson Show in 2025.
Go Green.